Don't weep over nothing you lost, nothing you spent, nothing you invested, not the time, the talent, or the money. What God's got cooking up for you is better than anything you could have done by yourself.
Look, whoa. You want 8 more years of this? Let his monkey ass go. But now, God can't give you what you want because you want to hold on to what you got. You all in the way. Now you telling him how to bless you. You can't tell God how to bless you. It's a simple process. The only reason I'm telling you this, because this is how I made it. I just do me. I'm just being me. I stay uniquely who I am because you are okay just the way you are. Because God made you uniquely who you are. He wanted you to be just like you are.
And might be taken for granted. Well, then you and I are creators. And very often when we get overwhelmed by so many things we feel out of control by, we start getting into being managers of our life, managing our pain, managing through the situation. You've got to allow yourself to be able to take advantage of uncertainty. You have to work.
If they can't see it, it's because it wasn't given to them. It was given to you. Hold it, nourish it, cultivate it, work on it. It's yours. It's your baby. Work on it until it comes into fruition. I gave away my power and I said, I'm not going to do that no more.
No limit people are human beings who take what they are and accept it and don't tell themselves that somehow they're deficient because of anything about themselves. This is a very crucial concept for me and for virtually all of us. It's this idea of taking your life in your own hands and being the kind of person that you choose to be, and understanding that everything that comes your way is an opportunity, is a blessing. And it wasn't until I learned how to celebrate virtually everything that came my way that I was able to transcend it. Everything else that you have on our planet, that we have on our planet, comes about as a result of thinking. Thought makes it so. All right? Everything that you see that wasn't given to us was created by man as a result of the way that we think. So what gets inside of us as a cell comes about as a result of the way that we choose to think in our lives. Very important principle to understand. Because once you get a hold of thinking, and that it creates everything that you have in your life, you can change and make it as absolutely perfect as you want it to be, because thought makes it so.
When you make decisions about what to focus on and what things mean and what to do, and you're unconscious, you get pretty terrible results usually. Now, we've all done this. I do it still. We all do. But if you want to change your results, you got to become more conscious in your decision making. So think about it. What you focus on, you will feel, whether it's true or not. You focus on how people don't care, you're going to feel they don't care. Second decision you make is what do things mean? So you focus on something someone does and you come up with a meaning, and the meaning is no one loves me. The meaning is they're trying to take advantage of me. Depending on what meaning you come up with, and you get to choose the meaning of anything. For some people, they say this situation happened with the economy, and what that means is I'm going broke. Somebody else said the situation happened with the economy. Guess what? That means I'm going to work harder. I'm going to be more creative. It changed everything. Everybody else is going to quit, so we're going to dominate the marketplace. For people to do it. Is this the end right now, or is it the beginning? See, whether it's the end or beginning is your choice. You get to decide. Because once you make up a meaning, it's true. If you think that this is the end of a relationship, are you going to treat people the same way as if you think it's the beginning of a relationship? No way.
How many of you had some situations that you were in that you're overwhelmed with fear? You didn't know how you're going to come out, how you're going to survive, and you did. You survived and you didn't die. Raise your hand if you survive, all right? So what you got to do, whatever that was, whatever that state of consciousness, whatever that self-confidence that you had, however you stood up within yourself, here's what we know. You survived. Here's what we know. You're still here. You didn't die. Hello. You did not die. You didn't die. You hear that? You didn't die. You're here right now. You got it and you handled that fear. You kicked it out of there. All right? Remember that play Color Purple? I remember when Albert told the girl she couldn't go with Sure. He said, where you going? You know, this girl been wanting all her life to live her dream. But she was afraid. She felt incompetent and he'd beaten her down and her self-esteem had eroded. He said, where you going? You can't talk. Sure can talk. You ugly. You dumb. Sure got class. You ain't got nothing. Where you going? You ain't gonna make it. You're gonna fail. She said, look here. I might be ugly. I might be dumb. I might can't talk. She said, but I'm still here. I'm still here. And so as you begin to look at the fears in back of you, you came through those fears and you're still here. See, that's a testament about how powerful you are. And so whatever the volcano is, you have the capacity to take that volcano on, the capacity to jump in it and find your true identity. Here's another thing that keeps a lot of people from taking on the volcanoes and jumping into the challenges that they're confronted with. The fear of making mistakes or not feeling good enough. Guess what? You're going to make some mistakes. You're going to make a lot of mistakes. Guy said this and it's true. He said the person who has never made a mistake hasn't done anything. You're going to make some mistakes if you want to do something out here. You're going to fall flat on your face. You're going to be criticized when you come out into the arena called life. You're going to feel awkward and stupid and dumb sometimes. It goes with the territory. But it's okay. What's important is that you bring your stuff out here. Are you good enough? Prepare yourself. See, there's no substitute for competency. A positive attitude won't get it. Being enthusiastic won't get it. So you got to prepare yourself. You've got to develop yourself. You've got to practice. You've got to work. You've got to do your homework. You've got to do your research. See, a lot of people have a yes, I can attitude, but a no, I can't aptitude. And competency builds confidence. And confidence feeds into competency. See, the better you become, the more confident you feel. And the more confident you feel, the better you want to become. You realize that you have no ceiling. That you can better whatever you've done so far. You can go beyond that. You don't become cocky and arrogant, feeling that you've already arrived, as most people have. And that's why they've settled for less than what they rightly deserve in life. Because they feel they've arrived and they say, well, I can rest now. I can rest on my laurels now. I've made it.
Stop doing the things that you know are wrong that you could stop doing. Right? So it's a fairly limited attempt. First of all, we're not going to say that you know what the good is or what the truth is in any ultimate sense. But we will presume that there are things that you're doing that for one reason or another you know are not in your best interests. There's something about them that you just know you should stop. They're kind of self-evident to you. Other things you're going to be doubtful about. You're not going to know which way is up and which way is down. But there are things that you're doing that you know you shouldn't do. Now, some of those you won't stop doing for whatever reason. You don't have the discipline, or maybe there's a secondary payoff, or you don't believe it's necessary, or it's too much of a sacrifice, or you're angry or resentful or afraid. Who knows? So forget about those for now. But there's another subset that you could stop doing. It might be a little thing. Well, that's fine. Stop doing it and see what happens. And what'll happen is your vision will clear a little bit. And then something else will pop up in your field of apprehension that you will also know you should stop doing and that you could stop doing because you strengthened yourself a bit by stopping doing the particular stupid thing that you were doing before. That just puts you together a little bit more. And you could do that repeatedly for an indefinite period of time. And you know, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to ever be able to formulate a clear and final picture of what constitutes the truth and the good. But it does mean that you'll be able to continually move away from what's untruth and what's bad. And, you know, that's not a bad start.
How many people in this audience actually believe in the idea that the way you think has some effect on your life? So how many people here actually woke up this morning and consciously created a future? You know the biggest reason why people don't do it? is because you don't really believe it's true. You see, if you knew on a gut level that it was absolutely true, would you ever miss a day? And would you ever let any thought slip by your awareness that you didn't want to experience? So if you believe this, then does your environment control your thinking? Or does your thinking control your environment? As the environment turns on different circuits in your brain, you begin to think equal to your environment. As you see the same people and go to the same places and do the same things at the same time, it's the external environment that's turning on different circuits in your brain, causing you to think equal to everything that you know. And as long as you think equal to everything that's familiar or known to you, what do you keep creating more of? Same life. Now, the quantum law is still applying to you. You're just thinking equal to everything that you know, and you keep creating more of the same. To change, to truly change, is to think greater than your environment. And every great person in history knew this. Whether it was William Wallace or Mahatma Gandhi or Martin Luther King or Queen Elizabeth I or Joan of Arc, they all had a vision. They all had an idea. Couldn't see it, couldn't smell it, couldn't taste it, couldn't feel it. But it was alive in their mind. It was so alive in their mind that they began to live as if that reality was actually happening now. So can you believe in a future that you can't see or experience with your senses yet, but you've thought about enough times in your mind that your brain is literally changed to look like the event has already happened? Your personality creates your personal reality. That's it. And your personality is made up of how you think, how you act, and how you feel. So the present personality who's sitting here today, you, has created the present personal reality called your life. Would you also agree then, if you wanted to create a new personal reality, that on a fundamental level you would have to change the thoughts that you are thinking, the behaviors and habits that you're demonstrating, and the emotions that you've memorized that's become part of your identity? And most people try to create a new personal reality as the same personality, and it never works. We have to become somebody else.
How serious are you about changing your life? When people want to reset their lives in some area, or they want to get a fresh start, they often think that the first thing they need to do is to change their location. But it's not the very first thing that needs changing in your life. It might take a while to change your location, but you can start changing your mind right there where you're seated right now. To reset your life, to have this transformation, to get a fresh new start in any area, career, marriage, relationships, health, whatever. To reset your life, the first thing you need to work on is your mindset. What do you mean by that? How you see yourself, how you see your problems, and most important of all, how you see God. If you don't change your mindset first, a change in your location or a change in your scenery, it's not going to help much. You know why? Because you could go to Tahiti, but you take you with you wherever you go. And so if the stress is in your brain and you go to Tahiti or anywhere else, you're taking the stress with you because the stress is between your ears.
There's nothing more powerful than a changed mind. You can change jobs, change relationships, change your looks. The calendar can change. We can go into a new year. But if your thinking is the same, nothing will be different. Why don't you change your mind? Break out of those ruts that have held you back. Now, when those thoughts come, saying, it's been too long, it's never going to happen, just tell doubt, I've changed my mind. I know what God promised is on the way. I'm a believer and not a doubter. Tell fear, I've changed my mind. Not going to live worried, stressed, afraid. I know God has me in the palm of His hand. Tell guilt, shame, the past, I've changed my mind. I'm not living condemned, listening to the accusing voices. I'm forgiven, I'm redeemed, restored. My future is bright. Tell lack, struggle, not having enough, I've changed my mind. That is not my destiny. I will lend and not borrow. What I touch will prosper and succeed. Abundance, overflow, increase is coming my way. Or when thoughts tell you, this is going to be another average year. Nothing good is in store. Don't expect anything different. Tell discouragement. Tell low expectations. I've changed my mind. This is going to be a blessed year, a bountiful year, a favor-filled year. Something good is going to happen to me. When you change your mind, when you get in agreement with God, angels go to work. Miracles are set in motion. Healing, breakthroughs, favor comes looking for you.
The right mindset says, I'm going to look ahead because something good is going to happen to me. Wrong mindset says, nothing's ever going to change. Everything is going to be just the way as it's always been. But you can change a wrong mindset tonight. You don't have to wait for a fee. You can think what you want to think. You don't have to think everything that falls in your head. That's why we have this book to tell us what's right and what's wrong. And so, when the next time you have a thought that says it's too late for you, well, guess what? You can't find that in this book. Or the next time you have the thought, you're no good. All you are is a big mess up. You never do anything right. Well, guess what? That's a lie. Because the Bible says that you're precious, you're special, you're created in His image. He's got a good plan for you.
What's holding us back many times is our own thinking. If you think you've reached your limits, then you have. If you think the problem is too big, then it is. If you think you'll never meet the right person, you probably won't. You have to get a new mindset. Start believing bigger, dreaming bigger, expecting bigger. Why don't you get a new mindset? God, I don't see a way, but I know you have a way. The medical report doesn't look good, but I know you're my healer. Struggling in my finances, but I believe abundance is coming. This dream looks impossible, but I know you can open doors that no person can shut. Quit making excuses. Quit coming up with reasons why you can't be successful, can't get well, can't live free, can't get married, can't go to the new level. You may be limited, but God is unlimited. He's about to do something that you've never seen.
Negative thinking limits God, and it limits all of our potential. What kind of life are we going to have if we don't believe for good things? It's going to be a life without joy. It's going to be a sad life. It's going to be a life full of all kinds of negative things, because if you've got a negative mind and a negative mouth and a negative attitude, then your life is going to be negative. Now, being positive does not mean that we deny the existence of problems. It simply means that we believe that God is greater than the problem. Let me ask you, whatever kind of problem you have right now, do you believe that God is greater than your problem? Do you believe that God can do anything, that all things are possible with God? Let's just stay in faith and every day say, God, I believe that you're going to take care of this. You see, no matter who's against you, if God is for you, you're going to end up being a winner in life. And God is for you, not against you, and God is on your side, and God does have a good plan for your life.
Is your thinking limiting your life? Who says you can't do something great? Who says you can't start your own business? Who says you can't get well? Who says you can't go where no one in your family has gone? God is calling you to be a trendsetter, a difference maker, a barrier breaker. Quit looking at what you lost, what you don't have. The odds may be against you, but the Most High God is for you. He's breathing in your direction right now. You're not on your own. You and God are a majority. Nothing can stand against Him. What He has purposed for your life will come to pass. Now get in agreement with God. All He needs to work with is mustard seed faith. You don't have to have great faith, just a little bit of faith. God, I believe you can take me where I can't go on my own, that I'm about to see the surpassing greatness of your favor.
Isn't it amazing how God gives us this thing called an imagination, but he gives us the free will to decide, are we going to let that be controlled by fear or faith? God wants to do something new in your life. God wants to work in you in ways that he's never worked before. But if you're ever going to become the new you, you're going to have to change your brain. You're going to have to think new thoughts. You have to think God thoughts.
Victory starts in our mind. When your vision is limited, your life will be limited. It's amazing what happens when you enlarge your vision, when you believe big, when you pray bold prayers, when you dream great dreams. But too often, because of disappointments, delays, things that haven't worked out, we've watered down our dreams. We've lowered our expectations. We're not stretching, believing for great things, believing to get well. Are you putting limits on what God wants to do in your life? Are you focused on what you think can happen only in your ability? You're looking at the natural, but God is supernatural. He controls the universe. He parts Red Seas. He brought water out of a rock. He fed thousands with 2 fish. Don't base your containers on what you can do. Base it on what God can do.
You know, your thoughts can take you somewhere where you'd really like to be, or they can keep you somewhere where you don't want to be. They can take you where you'd like to be, and they can keep you where you don't want to be. So set your mind where you want to go, not where you've been or where you are right now. Have a vision for your life. Have a vision for your children. Have a vision for your home. Have a vision for your ministry. And don't back down and give up on it. Wrong thinking causes us more problems than what we can even possibly imagine.
No more, I'll never get out of this problem. The obstacles are too big. I'll never get ahead. Never break this addiction. Never meet the right person. Don't let a limited mindset keep you from the abundant life that belongs to you.
The themselves that somehow of anything about themselves. This is a very peculiar concept for me and for virtual of taking your life to your life. Understanding that everything that someone you weigh is an opportunist is a blessing, and it was not usual. I learned how to celebrate virtual have on our planet that we have on our planet comes about as a result of thinking so makes it so alright. Everything that you see that a result of the way that we think, the way that we think is so hot gets insights as a result, because once you get a tool that is creates everything that you now as you want it to be, because thought makes it so. When you make decisions about what to do and you are unconscious usual now you want to change your conscious is in your decisions making, so that about on how people don't care. Second decisions you make is what do you think with a meaning, and the meaning is no one loves me the advantage of me defending and get to choice the meaning of anything of for sometimes economy, and how do somebody the economy guys to work harder. It changed everything. Everybody going to dominate the marketplace for people to do beginning. See whether it choice you up a meaning is true. People the same way as if you think it's the beginning of a relationship, you where in that you to come out, how you going to survive. Raise your hand if you survive alright. To what you what a state of consequence had wherever you stood up within yourself thought now we were still here, you did not die. Hello.